Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday today.
Hey!
That's the Disney birthday song. Guys,
I don't know about you guys.
Bridget's birthday!
But on my birthday, I podcast.
I'm so sorry that that's what we're doing, but love you.
You know, your 30s are real, folks.
Well, what else did you do to celebrate? Tell us.
It's a pretty lame day.
You had a cake. There was cake.
Yeah. I mean, I worked all day, which I was like, why did I do that?
Yeah.
And then, although Kate was pretty cute in the morning, she gave me a balloon, which was pretty cute. And then she came home with James, and they had, like, flowers and cake, and that was pretty funny. And then she got herself a gift, and she was like, Mom, look!
It's my birthday too, Mom.
And it was this, like, octopus little tchotchke sprinkler thing. I was like, I think that's for you.
Cool.
Yeah, man, and here I am. But what I loved this morning was our 250th episode.
Woo!
Came out on my birthday.
Yeah.
And then I got to listen to that, and that made me really happy because it is really cool. And it was fun to have a little reflection.
Yeah.
But it was really cool. That was fun. That made me feel really happy.
Yay! Good.
Yeah.
Sisters who've seen it. We are the sisters who've seen it. Sisters, shooby-dooby-doo-wop, sisters, shooby-dooby-doo-wop, sisters. Sisters who've seen it.
Hello
there.
Welcome back, listeners.
How about this one, huh?
I had a little bit of regret.
Oh, really?
A little. Yeah. I think
this is interesting.
It was, something. Okay. I'll introduce ourselves so y'all know who's in the garden or the anthill.
Okay.
Or wherever else they fucking were. I don't know. There was weird places.
Okay.
Yes. So, listeners, we are the Sisters Who've Seen It, the podcast where two sisters who are not movie critics look back on some of our favorites throughout the years through a psychological, ethical, and familial lens. I'm Katie.
I'm Bridget.
And, I don't think I wrote any quotes down. I want to imitate the little roly-poly bugs. Hey! I love those guys.
Wait, what are some? I feel like every, quote is like, they're coming!
Yeah.
They're here!
Because this G-rated children's movie kind of felt like a horror movie in a lot of parts.
I was thinking that. I was like, why was this G-rated? This was kind of intense.
I don't know. It was a little scary sometimes. But Bridge, what's the movie this week?
It is from 1998, Pixar's A Bug's Life.
Oh, yeah. Bug's Life.
Okay, I'm like, it's definitely your synopsis.
I think so.
And I'm like kind of going through the fun facts here.
Oh, were there some?
Well, this is like the first Pixar film with a female lead. Because
what
Dot and the Princess, I guess,
it just Toy Story before this one?
I don't actually should look that up.
I feel like that's probably correct, and I guess they didn't really have any in that.
Yeah, 1998. It was. Here we go. We're going. Of course, it's not in order. Oh, here we go. You know, when you look at this, you're like, Pixar had some duds, huh?
Yeah.
You don't hear about some of them. You know?
Yeah, so Toy Story was 1995, A Bug's Life was 1998.
Okay.
John Lasseter. I think he became the CEO of Disney for a period of time. The guy who directed this movie. Yeah. You know, it's a movie about bugs. So...
All right, that's your synopsis?
No, sorry, I'll do my synopsis. I was just
wow,
saying.
I was like,
Okay, I can do my synopsis. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. We have ants. Well, ants, they are enslaved. I referenced this last time. There is a very heavy plot, I guess.
Socialist plot.
I was more like, this is fascism. Because
okay.
a group of people are being enslaved for no reason, just so as another group can be in power, and it's terrible.
Yeah.
And the ants are gathering food for the grasshoppers, and then there's an ant named Flik. He's a ding-dong, but boy, does he have Rick-Moranis-inventor-dad energy.
He really does. That's exactly what he has.
Yeah, it's very Honey, I Shrunk the Kids coded. And, his hootenanny shenanigans, he fucks up, and all food disappears, and the grasshopper's like, where the hell's our food? And it's a whole big drama, and then the grasshoppers are like, you gotta get double the food in, 2 months, something, figure it out. And then all the ants are mad at Flik, and he's like, I'll go get bugs to beat up the grasshoppers, bye. And then he goes and finds circus bugs. Bugs in the circus.
Who knew they even had that?
I just feel like this movie was like, maybe somebody got high and was like, there's a lot of jokes we could make about bugs. And then some other person was probably like, I agree. And then they made this movie because it just feels like, I don't know. It's a lot of bug jokes.
I have some opinions, but I want you to finish your synopsis.
Well, and so basically he gets these circus bugs, and there's the circus bugs think they're doing a circus. He thinks they're going to beat up grasshoppers, and then they find out, oh no, we both miscommunicated, we messed up, but you still got to help me, blah, blah, blah. And then they have a scheme where they're going to make a fake bird to scare the grasshoppers. And that happens, and you're like, I guess the day is saved. But then the other ants find out that the circus bugs are not warriors, and they're circus bugs, and then we're getting mad at them. It's a lot of times where I'm like, we get it. It's just...
Yeah, they did hit the same thing.
God, I was like, oh, guys. And the grasshoppers come in, and they're basically like, well, we're going to kill the queen, because that's what we're going to do now, because, fuck you guys, you didn't get us any food. And... then, in the end, the queen doesn't die, and the bad grasshopper, who is played by Kevin Spacey, people play themselves, hello, gets murdered by a bird. And then everybody celebrates in this G-rated children's film. And I'm scared. There's scary parts. But it's funny, because there's bugs doing bug jokes.
I did not connect that the scary guy...
Yeah.
Wait, who was he?
Kevin Spacey.
I don't see him on the cast.
I swear he's there.
Oh my god, yeah, he doesn't even fucking look like himself in this. Wow, you're right. I didn't connect the dots there.
Yeah.
So, okay, couple things with, I think, what was happening for A Bug's Life.
Okay.
So, Pixar, right? Early Pixar, especially starting out with Toy Story, was like, we're going to blow up the movie industry because we're adding software. And remember even when we did Monsters, Inc., how they'd had... Yeah, when you look at Toy Story, the hair wouldn't move, and then you looked at Monsters, Inc., and you have, Sully has whatever. Yeah. So I think it was a bunch of, software nerds that basically were like, let's see how cool this technology can be. The movie is, quote, retelling The Ant and the Grasshopper.
Oh, that's like a...
That's like a, I don't know, a famous story. I don't know anything about it. And then they just expanded on it. So it's like they took a plot that existed, and I think they were like, let's keep adding crazy software. The, computing power was 10 times more than Toy Story.
Wow.
And I think they probably thought, let's do a bunch of intricate bugs, because we could play with, light and texture and, all this crazy stuff. So I think they just wanted to, play with what the animation can do, and I don't think they cared as much about the plot, and you could tell.
Yeah, I could tell.
Okay. I was like, it's really cool to watch. It holds up. The animation looks amazing, which is really, really cool. But the plot was kind of long. This was kind of long, right?
It was long. It could have been, oh my god, it could have been so much shorter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's, and, but the characters were fun. They just, it would have been fun if I knew a little bit more personal anecdotes of some of the, standout characters, but we never scratched the surface. And that kind of made it dull.
Do you remember there was another around the same time A Bug's Life came out, there was another movie about ants, and it was called Ants.
Oh, I was confused. Is this the same? Or...
No, the Ants movie, which is Antz, is a completely different movie. It's starring Woody Allen. Help! What's the theme with the ant movies, guys? Because I don't love it. Don't love it. But, like, that was DreamWorks, which is, like, another animation company, and then this came out, and, like, they're very different movies, but it just was... I even remember as a kid being like, that's kind of weird. How'd they...
why did they pick both?
And almost like, which was first? Because clearly somebody stole an idea from someone else. Be like, they're making a movie about ants. We're going to make our own ant movie. So, I don't know. I'm just trying to find excuses for why this was a movie.
Oh my god, you're right. It was both 1998. I thought it'd be like a year off.
Yeah.
Combination of competitive pressures and studio dynamics. So a former Disney exec left to co-found DreamWorks,
and then they knew,
accelerated the production of Ants to release it before A Bug's Life. I mean,
okay.
Jeffrey Katzenberg. It feels a little petty. Let's see which one won. Let's see. Did Ants or Bug's Life make more money?
I bet A Bug's Life. Actually, I don't know. Ants had like a lot of famous actors in it.
A Bug's Life significantly made more.
Oh, it did?
Bug's Life made $363 million.
Whoa.
Ants grossed 171, so almost double.
Wow, okay.
Or more than double.
It's that Disney magic, dough.
Ouch!
Okay, Disney loved this movie so much that they also had an entire, like... It's not like a ride. It's almost like a show at Disney. And I think just this past year they got rid of it. And it was called Life of a Bug. And it was in the Animal Kingdom. I feel like we went to it when we went to Disney. And it's like a show where there's a lot of animatronic bugs. And it's like the characters from this movie. But it's like fucking scary. And there's like spiders that come from the ceiling. And then like a bug like runs under your seat and like it hits your butt. Nightmare. Nightmare fuel. So, I don't know. They were really pushing this movie from Disney and Pixar.
Interesting.
Yeah, but like, even how you said when I was like, we're gonna do Bug's Life, you were like, I don't know that one. I don't feel like people know this one.
I know, it's like I knew of it, but yeah.
But it's just not like, I don't know, it's not like people are reaching for it. Like, people, I feel like Finding Nemo and Monsters, Inc., like, those, I think, and even Toy Story, I think people, like, will, like, discover those, but this one, no.
Okay. So first of all, the main character, Flik, Dave Foley. If you look at him, he's been in 4 million zillion things. You know exactly who he is.
Oh.
I feel like James always says this to me, but he was like hard to like as a main character.
Yes.
And that also was tough.
Mm-hmm.
But kind of cool. You have a bunch of ants. They clearly have to, like, follow the pack. I get that's how it all works. And, like, there's even the one scene where, like, a leaf falls in the middle of the line. And the guy's like, what do I do? And they're like, you can do it, sir. Like, go around the leaf.
Walk around the leaf.
And then you see Flik, who has some, like, Rick-Moranis. I love that scenario.
It's so
contraption that's trying to get, like, more food faster with his crazy invention, which honestly was pretty cool. But of course always, like, is a spaz or screws it up or shrinks his kids. You know? I don't know.
Yeah.
And so in that first 3 seconds, you're like, okay, I got it.
Right.
Like,
got the movie.
I got the movie. And then he's got a crush on the princess.
Oh, yeah.
And the princess, by the way, is Julia Louis-Dreyfus, who, like, I did not connect the dots to because she was not her fierce, sassy self. She was a very, like, passive, like, I'm insecure. I'm like, this doesn't match the voice because this is a very secure, Veep-like woman.
Well, and I'm like, why can't she be funny? Like, let Julia Louis-Dreyfus be funny.
Well, and the queen, by the way, Phyllis Diller.
Yeah,
I love her, and actually it made me want to do, like, another movie that she is a voice actor in.
Oh.
So that I was like, okay, I'm here. These are great voices. And then did you know that Dot, who was basically the princess's little sister, that was Hayden Panettiere?
Yes.
Is that how you say her name, Panettiere, or did I just get Italian?
I think that's better than I could say. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, she was so little. And that was probably pre Remember the Titans, because that was the other movie we did with her.
Yeah.
She's little in that, but she definitely sounds little in this. So
she was great.
I did have questions why the queen ant, who looks like an 80-year-old ant woman, had a daughter who was probably in her 20s, 30s, and then had a daughter that was 5.
Wait, isn't that how ants roll? Don't they just keep, like, pumping out kids?
I guess.
Because I gotta say, I know the queen bee. We all have been, like, we grew up on, like, okay, if you're a queen bee, just pop out babies. But I'm not as on top of it as a queen ant.
They do
but
talk
is
about
it the same thing?
I think it is. They do talk about that in the movie Ants. And I remember because Sharon Stone plays the princess ant in that.
No way.
And she's like, oh, I want to sit around and have babies, Mom. And the mom's like, oh, well, this is your life. I don't know why you're chosen to do it when I have 80 billion children.
Wait, this is I almost feel like I don't want to, but we almost feel like we have to watch Ants.
Okay, you know who else is in it? Sylvester Stallone.
Okay, because and
J-Lo.
Do you think that guy Jeffrey Katzenberg was like, listen, they don't explain why the old lady has a young aunt and an older aunt, so let's have a whole subplot of explaining that Sharon Stone's gotta have sex all the time. That's so funny.
Well, in that movie, too, I feel like the plot is similar in the sense of, like, ants always follow the colony, and ants do what they're told, and ants are, they're not individuals. And then, I don't know, in this movie, like, they kind of reference that sometimes, but then not all the time, because I was like, people could be individuals in this colony, so it seems. If you want to be in a little Girl Scout troop, you can do that, but not everyone has to. I don't know. It was different.
Yeah, it was different, but I think they still wanted to be like, listen, they live on this island, which I'm like, okay.
I had questions about the geography. Yeah.
I'm like, okay, they're on an island. And then when the crickets, the evil people, flew in, I was like, honestly, didn't know a cricket had wings.
Yeah.
Is that stupid?
Well, they're grasshoppers. I think they're different than crickets. I think they're different kinds of bugs.
So, okay, wait. So a cricket Jiminy Cricket can hop and hop, and a grasshopper can also hop, but also flies.
Are crickets different than grasshoppers?
I don't know if the movie had the effect it wanted, which is to teach people about bugs, because I didn't learn anything.
Grasshoppers are larger, and they're more active during the day. And then crickets are smaller, and they're more active at night, and that's why you hear them making the noise. And then, one can fly.
Yo.
I don't know.
When I was, like, middle school age.
Oh, God, a bug trauma story. Here we go.
I stayed in this girl's basement for a sleepover.
No.
And there was a cricket infestation.
Infestation?
Yeah, literally.
Jesus.
And we woke up in our sleeping bag, and they were fucking everywhere.
What the fuck?
And I was so freaked out. And then I don't know if you remember, but our garage for a long time.
We had a lot of
crickets.
You couldn't leave your shoes out there.
And it's back in the day when Dad would be like, "Go get me a root beer," and so you'd be like, "Do I have to?" And then you go out there, and some cricket would just like fly in your fucking face.
Oh God.
And I just remember being like, "It's not for me, man. They're not the sweet chimney cricket." And now that I know Kevin Spacey is running this crew, I think my instincts were right. All right? Stay away from them.
Well, and just right away, we get to meeting them, and they're so fucking scary. Their introduction is all the ants are like, oh, they're coming. Let's all run in the anthill. And then Flik in his stupid machine, he fucks up, and all the food falls.
That was actually pretty funny, though. He was like, not only did all the food fall, but it was like in the last 3 seconds of it showing up.
Yeah.
That's like the dog eating the Thanksgiving turkey at the last minute. You're like,
we love to see
Flik, come on.
Flik. And then he runs in, he's like, gotta tell the princess all about it. Whoopsie doodle. And the fucking grasshoppers, they kick through these ants' ceiling.
They really did. They stomped him.
Threatening. Okay, that's what I say. And then they come in, and they have a fucking cricket that's named Thumper. And I don't understand.
I thought it was Hopper.
No, Hopper's the bad guy. But then they had. Do you remember the The, like, crazy one where I was like, is this a dog grasshopper? Is this, like, a grasshopper that has schizophrenia?
Like a rabies.
Yeah, like, what?
Yeah.
Like, who is this guy? And, like, he literally is like, I'm gonna fucking, like, put this little kid up in front of this crazy thing that's gonna kill it. And I was like, is this rated G? Because what the fuck is happening? But Bridge, we get our very first upstander moment. Okay.
That's true. Flik is an upstander.
Flik is an upstander, okay? Because all the other ants, when they're all scared and they're being bystanders and they're watching bullying and potential murder in real time, Flik says something, and what happens? The kid doesn't get murdered. So let that be a lesson for all of us.
Okay. Although they did get on the hook to have double the food, and everyone's like, Flik, we hate you.
That did happen.
And then they were like, how are we going to do it? And then the other thing that's kind of interesting is, like, the princess, again, Julia Louis-Dreyfus does not fit this role, is like, I'm a new princess turning to be queen, and what am I going to do? Everything's screwed up because of this Flik guy, but I also have a crush on him. But also, what am I going to do? Now double the food? I'm a terrible leader. I'm like, I really think you had nothing to do with this. I think you should kick... And then they try to get rid of him.
Yes.
Right? They're like, all right, let's get rid of this little, like, ding-dong. He keeps getting in the way, and go on a mission, which they basically think is like a suicide mission, which I was like, that's heavy, but okay.
Suicide gets mentioned more than once in this movie.
Yeah, like, and then that's how he ends up looking for Warrior. He's like, okay, instead of all this food, let's just fight him. I was like, damn. All right, that's a vibe.
Yeah, and they're literally like, okay, you go do that, thinking, like, he's gonna die. Problem solved for us. I was like, guys, what? And Flik's like, I'm gonna go to the city. And this part particularly is where I was like, this is how the movie idea came to be. Is somebody said, wouldn't it be funny if there's a bug city? And what would it look like if there was a bug city? There'd be lightning bugs going in the red and blue and the red and green lights, like stop signs. There'd be a bar where someone says who ordered the poo-poo platter and all the flies fly and eat it.
So first of all, I love that the flies were deemed as, like, trash.
Oh my god.
Like in the like social hierarchy of this bug life. Oh yeah.
They're all
flies
drunk.
are white trash, basically. They're the lowest of low, and I'm like, damn. And they have one day to live, so they're like, oh yeah, I got one day to live.
Some of the bug jokes were pretty funny, I'm not gonna lie. I did giggle, but I was like, this has nothing to do with the plot. I'm just, like, this could have been a short film, and I would have laughed at your bug jokes, but...
I think it would be a great short film.
Well... You know what?
Well, okay,
It's too late. It's too late, because now we have a bug circus, Bridge. And did you know that the bug circus is run by a flea, and the flea's name is P.T., and I wonder, does he have a last name? Or is it just...
It's P.T. Flea.
P.T. Flea. Like, B.T. P.T. Barnum? Who was the Barnum and Bailey's? Do you know what I'm talking about? That's what I thought they were doing a joke on. P.T. Barnum? Is that... I think that's... we're doing a lot of Googling in this episode. Hold on. P.T. Barnum. No, yeah. Oh, no, that was a Connecticut state representative. No.
I think I have a headache.
I'm
but
sorry.
I'm
sorry. Please,
when we meet the circus bugs, which, by the way, there's like, what, 7 of them?
There's a lot of them, yeah.
Okay, we're dealing with Bonnie Hunt.
We're
dealing
with...
Who's
Bonnie Hunt? Is she the...
Rosie.
She's the spider?
Was Rosie the spider?
I don't know. Probably.
I was thinking the butterfly or the spider.
Gypsy Moth was the butterfly. That was Madeline Kahn.
Okay. We're dealing with Denis Leary. We're dealing with Brad Garrett. Which is the Everyone Loves Raymond brother.
Oh yeah.
If you saw him, you'd know him.
Right.
Ashley Tisdale.
What?
Like, just so many random people.
Oh, I see. And then Jonathan Harris. Richard Kind. Oh my god.
It was kind of weird though. I don't know if it was because they were bugs, but like I didn't really notice the actors. Like I didn't connect the dots as quickly. Because you know how sometimes those like animated movies make the like Dragonheart, they make them look like the actor. So you're kind of like hinting at, oh, okay, that's this person. But you have these multi-acts. You have a Black Widow spider doing her crazy, like, web act. You have the two crazy cockroaches that are like, ah, and they, like, just do, like, wonky stuff.
They were like little potato bugs.
Oh my god, you have a praying mantis that works with a butterfly that does, like, hide the butterfly. You have the big, giant, roly-poly caterpillar who is, like, Swedish? I don't know what accent that was.
I think it was Swedish.
And then you had the flea running it all. I'm like, what in the living?
And Denis Leary, the ladybug, and his possible stick bug boyfriend. And I know I bring this up a lot, where I'm like,
you really do.
Who's gay in this movie? I think it's those two.
You're right. And
something's happening.
Slim was played by David Hyde Pierce, which if you saw him, you also know him because he's been in a lot of.
I think.
Yeah, he's been in so many like shows and movies.
Oh my god.
And so the stick bug is always mad because he has to play a stick, and then Denis Leary is mad as a ladybug because he's a dude,
and they all think he's a lady.
They all think he's a lady,
but like. And then the stick bug is a lot of times like, hey, your boyfriends are over there. And I'm like,
do you think this whole movie was like, listen, the depth is 2 inches. Don't go 3 inches.
2 inches, yep.
Let's give everybody a 2-inch plot line, story, character arc. That's enough. We got so many goddamn bugs because we're showing all this cool technology.
Bridge, 2 inches is a lot for a bug.
I mean,
hey!
You know what? You know what's your whole Rick Moranis thing you're making me think about? I did think about Honey, I Shrunk the Kids because it had that like lower perception.
Yeah.
And it kind of throws
like,
you off
different.
where everything is like wonky and larger than you're realizing and kind of funky like fisheye type lens shape. That was really cool when they would do all that.
It's a dandelion, little flower bit I can use to fly through the air. And you're like, whoa, that's right, you're an ant. People don't forget.
But you learn that this circus troupe is not doing so great. They got like 4 flies in the audience. They're getting yelled at.
Yes.
And the flea guy lights on fire. Okay. And it's not going great.
Again, G-rated movie. I was like, is this Saw for children?
We get to the bar afterwards and they're like, what are we going to do? We're a failing Barnaby Brothers circus. And what are we going to do? And Flik is like, I got to find my fighters. And through a weird, like, luck course of events, they get in a bar fight and then just like end up rolling. The bar is in this weird can. They end up rolling in this can and somehow murdering everyone else but the circus crew. So Flik's like, these are my warriors. I'm like, what in the living hell is happening?
There's a death count for this movie.
Yeah, and it was like 40 people. It was like a Kill Bill scene.
We see like a bug get zapped in a bug zapper also. And I'm just like...
And the guy yells at him. He goes, don't go to the light.
Don't look at the light.
A lot of death. A lot of death.
But the circus bugs think that Flik is recruiting them for circus stuff, and then Flik thinks he's recruiting them for murder and
to fight the grasshoppers.
I did love the part though when they're all flying to the little ant place where Flik's telling like the actual truth of why he wants them to the bugs that don't speak English, the little roly-poly bugs. They were my favorite. They were really funny. I don't know what they're saying, but I loved it because he was just like, yeah, and you guys are gonna murder everyone. And the 2 bugs are like, what the hell? Let's do it. But Bridge, Flik reappears and everyone's like, God damn it, this guy's back again.
Well, he reappears with all these people and they're like, oh shit. But also, okay.
Yeah.
And so like, that's the thing. He always kind of teased a little hope. So they're like, oh.
Yep.
Now, it was genuinely not his fault. Like, he just like was ding dong and didn't clarify and like ask. And so when everybody's like, Flik, you got look at these warrior bugs. Because like, that big giant beetle looking bug, which I don't know what the hell that guy's name was, but I was like,
his name was Dim.
Dim? Okay.
Like stupid.
Because he definitely, I was like, that's like 3 grasshoppers
he
right
could
there.
he could just fall on them and kill them.
Pretty much. And so I don't know. I was like, okay, it's like believable. He's got this like army crew, Black Widow. Like you're like, oh, all right. That's
okay,
like,
the Black Widow was way underused. I'm like, she could murder everybody.
Yeah, I thought about that too. I'm like, doesn't she just like poke people with her booty and they're out? They're dead? Isn't that the whole point of a Black Widow? They're like poison?
I don't think it's their booty. I think they bite. I'm not going to Google it because there's been too much bug Googling already. My algorithm's going to be fucked.
Bugologist on here? What is that called?
An entomologist.
Which, by the way, Mom is always like, I've always said to Jimmy that he should have been an entomologist.
Jimmy does like bugs.
Can you imagine him, like, educating people on
Jesus
bugs?
Christ. He would be like, and now look under your seats, and there'd be a tarantula. And I would be like, ah! And he'd be like, see that. Tarantulas are great. Let me tell you about them. I'd be like, oh, God.
But when does he find out that he's like, oh, shit, these are circus folks?
So when the ants are like, yay, the warrior bugs, we're going to put on a little tribute production. Children draw a mural of the bugs murdering grasshoppers with blood. G rating. And then they go, we drew one of you dying because our teacher said it would be like more
realistic.
Yeah, more realistic. And they were like, what the fuck? And then they do honestly, I would have liked to watch the entire thing, a little drama rendition of what their murder battle is
there was
be.
like 30 of them, right?
It was a lot.
Incredibly coordinated.
Broadway level production.
I don't know. Exactly. I don't know how long that took. It was unbelievable.
Yep.
The Dot, aka Hayden Panettiere, was kind of like really adorable and cute because, you know, it was like, hey, I want to fly. Like, that was probably the only cool character arc we got, which is like, I'm too little, but I want to fly. But I'm always ready to do the right thing. I'm always ready to help out. And like, I don't know, it was just kind of like a fun little fighter personality. Yeah. And so then I think Flik really was like, oh no.
Well, because the circus bugs are like, what do you want us to do? Like, so they're like, we gotta go. And then Flik's like, where are you going? And they're like, we're circus bugs. And he's like, oh no. And this is another moment where he's like, I can't go and tell everyone the truth. They're gonna like shame me. So instead, you guys should just kill me right now. He goes, squish my head. I was like, and then they don't. And then they go away, or they try to, and then Flik is like, no. And this is where we run into really the savior of the film is a bird. And Bridge, I'm into birds, I think.
That was the most beautiful, like, Trojan horse bird situation I've ever seen. I was like, you guys use paper mache. You use natural materials.
Oh,
like,
yeah. That's getting an A+ in art class.
It just looked like the bird that was, like, whatever, not too far away.
What kind of bird was it?
I don't... Okay, should we Google it?
Oh, God, I'm so sorry, Google. We're just really putting you to work tonight. I just was like, this is a cool bird. And it's so funny because...
American goldfinch.
Oh. It's just funny because, like you mentioned, with the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids effect, it's like, if we were to see that bird, it's probably no bigger than, like, your fist. And then these bugs, they're all like, ah! And I'm like, oh, bird. But then I'm like, oh, yeah, it's going to, like, literally eat them. So I guess that's scary. And
Well, and I laugh, too, because I'm like, so in the hierarchy of the circle of life via Mufasa,
yes,
ants are the lowest.
Yeah.
Grasshoppers are above.
Maybe.
And then birds are above?
Birds are the highest, I guess.
If I'm a bunch of ants and I leave food out for the grasshoppers, wouldn't the birds just come eat them?
Well, it was a lot of birdseed. That's what I was thinking, too. I'm like, why isn't the bird, like, chowing down? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, wouldn't the bird be like, listen, grasshopper, maybe because the bird couldn't talk? Because that was kind of funny. I was like, wait, why can't the bird have...
Yeah, the bird's just like a dinosaur screeching roars.
Yeah, literally, it didn't talk, but like the other ones can. I'm like, that's kind of interesting. Interesting choice.
Yeah, I don't know. I like the bird, but they survived the bird, and then everyone's like, they're heroes because they didn't get killed by the bird, and they saved Dot.
Yeah, so maybe they got something in them.
Well, and then the circus bugs are like, we'll hang out. Let's do it. But then they come up with the idea, let's make a fake bird. Paper mache bird. And they basically do, and it's just this whole montage of everybody's like, all right, we're all working together, make it a bird, and it looks like really good. I mean, it would win at the art show, I think.
Absolutely.
And then they're just like, all right, let's just, like, store it away, and then let's, like, party. And you're like, okay, again, like, feel like this movie could have been a little quicker than it was.
I wish, personally, like, we saw some of the arc of the grasshoppers, right? The grasshoppers were like, why do we gotta go back and, like, get this shit from the ants? Like, hey, we're living good. Like, we're fat and happy. And then Hopper's like, how dare you? You let one ant get what they want. Then they all once they realize they can take advantage of us, they all can. And I thought, okay, interesting. But I wanted a little more into the, like, grasshopper hierarchy to learn, like, what, do they just roam free and there's no predators for grasshoppers? Because I don't believe that either. You know, I was just like,
they were hanging in Mexico.
Well, and I'm like, why are grasshoppers lazy? Because I can see them jumping everywhere. So why are they bullying ants, you know?
Well, they do say, they're like, if the ants figure out they could overpower us because there's more of them than us, there goes our way of life because we're Nazis. Okay? We're not saying
Jesus
it, but we
Christ.
are. The fascism is happening in Bugland, okay? We need to wake up and we gotta be on top of it, all right?
Okay, yes.
Okay.
We gotta get some birds.
Yeah, and that whole speech that Hopper does, I remember that as a kid. I remember being like, whoa. Like, my, probably at that time, 7-year-old mind is blown. Whoa. Because he's like, if they all stand up to us, like, we're fucked. And, like, we keep, like, telling them that they're below us, but they might realize there's a lot of them. And I just would love for America to maybe do a little rewatch. You don't have to watch the whole thing, because it's, like, you know, kind of silliness. Maybe just do a little YouTube rewatch of that scene, y'all, and I don't know. Let's see if we get inspired. Do we want to have a meeting? Do we want to make a big paper mache bird and, like,
I was just gonna say,
kind of launch it on certain people?
What's the bird? Like, what's the bird, Katie? That's what we gotta find. We gotta find what the bird is.
I don't know what it is.
You don't?
Is it a bird? Wait, what? Is it just a rhetorical question, or is there an actual answer, you think?
I think it's rhetorical, because if anything was that easy, we would have solved it. No, it's
just
I think it's very true. And
it's topical, and I hate it.
Well, and I like that you brought up the Ants movie, because I remember in the Ants movie, weren't some of the ants, like, super strong in the Ants movie?
Yes, because they got divvied up into different jobs, and Sylvester Stallone was in, like, the army job or something, and then Woody Allen's ant was, like, the loser job.
Oh my God.
Something ridiculous.
Well, and I'm laughing because in this movie, I'm like, ants are coming off weak in A Bug's Life.
Yeah.
But isn't the whole thing about ants is they can lift, like, 10 times their body weight? So it's like, not only can they beat them in size, but I also thought they could beat them in strength.
They could beat them in an arm wrestling match, probably.
I tell ya.
Yeah. They just, they weren't using their skills. And
Julia Louis-Dreyfus needs a redo on that one, because I feel like she could... I want to see her as a queen years later, just tearing shit up.
She's, like, conquering.
She's got, like,
Bugland.
grasshopper, like, taxidermies in her little ant lair.
That's what I want to see.
And she's like, I'll tell you about a time when I was princess for the first year.
Listen, if we do that sequel, it's gotta be rated PG, you guys, because I just feel like the G rating is crazy. So the grasshoppers are like, okay, we're inspired / scared, Hopper. We'll go back to Antland and we'll leave Mexico. We're literally living vacation. It's great, but we're gonna leave because something gotta bully ants. And then the ants are also partying. And then fucking P.T. Flea, Barnum and Bailey, whatever bullshit, Zac Efron and Hugh Jackman from the movie Greatest Showman, literally shows up, ruins everything.
Ruins everything.
He's like, oh, I just wanted my circus bugs. Hey, there you are. And then everyone's like, circus bugs. We were bamboozled. And, like, to me, I was kind of like, but who the fuck cares because you have a bird? Like, why do we care?
I agree.
You agree with me, or do you agree with the ants, Bridge?
No,
are you an ant or a person? Okay.
Wow. No, I mean, I looked at it like, I'm like, you saw these guys kind of fight the real bird.
Yeah.
And then they were down to make a fake bird, and they came up with a plan. Who really cares if they're in the circus or not? I mean, I think what they probably care about is they're like, this Flik guy is just un-goddamn reliable. I'm like, but you already knew that.
We did know that. And then...
So why are we shocked?
And then they kick him out, and then he's like, "Wah, we're so sad." And then I think it's Dot. It's like, Flik, you can't leave. Because something. Oh, the grasshoppers come, and then it's also, like, foggy, like it's fucking Halloween out here. I don't know.
Horrifying.
And then Doc gets away, and she's like, "We need help. You guys are literally on the island still. Come on down." And then they're like, "Oh, okay. We're gonna help, and we're gonna do a fake circus, but it's kind of a real circus, but it's gonna be fake, just to distract them, and then we're gonna get the bird, and we're gonna scare them." And you're like, okay, that's a great ending. Right there is the great ending.
And it wasn't.
It wasn't, because then the fucking flea sets the bird on fire, and then there's also like a Girl Scout troop piloting the bird. You know,
I didn't know why we had to put the children in the most dangerous sitch.
That's
it wasn't that small.
Were they earning?
Or the only little ones?
They earning
a badge.
A
bird badge, probably.
Bird navigating.
Bird badge. Yeah. A warrior badge after their theatrical. Yeah.
But this is where Flik is still. You know what? He's getting kicked around because Hopper's like, "Who fucking did this?" And Flik's like, "It was me. I was the bird." And he's like, "Ants don't serve grasshoppers. You know, you should be scared of us." And then all the other ants are like, we never thought of that. And I was like, okay, again, like, we could have had this convo, you guys. we didn't need to wait till right now to have this revelation.
Feels like an inopportune time.
We would have had a meeting and said these words at another point in time. But, yeah, you know, the ants get inspired, and they literally, they just kind of trample Hopper. And
they really do.
It's a little dark, but he doesn't die. And then you're like, I guess the movie's over. They're gonna plop him in a little cannon and shoot him away. Fine. And then it starts to rain. This felt like Lord of the Rings, where I was like, what's the ending? Because we're having 87 endings happen.
I know.
And then Hopper's like flying around, and then he gets Flik, and he's gonna kill Flik, and then Flik's like, let's go over here, and then they go over there, and it's raining, and then there's the bird. The real bird, not the fake bird.
And that was real cool.
Yeah, and again, Hopper is murdered on screen because the bird feeds him to
the babies.
The babies.
Which this was pretty cool on Flik's part to lure Hopper into the bird's nest.
Yeah.
Pretty
He's
slick.
Like, that little bird is hungry. And so the babies.
I agree with you in the sense that this really should have been a short. I think there would be a great short.
Yeah. But, you know,
but it wasn't.
We had Denis Leary as a ladybug. And I still think he's dating the stick guy. I think.
Really liked Denis Leary as a ladybug. I do. He was a great, by the way, that ladybug was so Betty Boop-like.
With the little curl of the hair. I thought the same thing. I was like, what's happening?
Like, Betty Boop.
The ladybug's name was Francis. And I was like, is that because that could be a boy or girl name?
I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, but it definitely, it held up though. Like the look of it, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
That these things held up. And I didn't hate it. I just was like, meh. How about you?
Meh. I was like, meh. When I saw the running time, I was like, Jesus Christ, it's almost 2 hours for the bug movie? My God.
I agree. Although I'm sure they were so pissed about the Ants movie, they were like, we're going to use every goddamn footage known
let's
to
make
man.
80 endings to beat out the Ant movie. Fucking Woody Allen bullshit. I remember that had one ending.
Know?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I think Jeffrey Katzenberg was the guy who was involved with Disney when they made the Goofy movie. I remember them talking about him on that Goofy movie documentary I watched.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well,
bugs.
Watch it or don't watch it.
It's, you know.
You don't really need to.
You don't need to.
Okay.
You can YouTube the funny parts, and that's fine.
Okay. The let's just be real. The hype of Toy Story definitely helped people be like, let's see this.
Yeah, I think so.
But I didn't feel the same. Like, Toy Story was just like, whoa.
Yeah.
Finding Nemo, I remember just being like,
yeah.
oh my God, I've never seen anything like this. The Bug's Life was great, but there wasn't, I don't know, like, there wasn't this, maybe if it was like Fern Gully style jungle, I would have had my mind blown, but I kind of just like, this is just a bunch of grass.
Yeah.
You know?
Just some grass and sunshine. That's
I know
right.
it's really hard, and I'm diminishing that, but it wasn't it, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
It is my pick.
Woo!
I am going to make you think hard, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, get your thinker on.
Okay.
We're going to 1994.
Okay.
I am going to read a little bit of what the hell this is.
Okay.
I am going to read everything but the thing that will make you know what the movie is.
Okay.
11-year-old Preston's bike is run over, and he thinks it's his unlucky day. But then, blank, 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 he gets $1 million. He's got his own pad, his own limo driver, and he's spending money like crazy. He soon finds out that the only problem with having $1 million is keeping it.
Is this?
I'm going to make you think. I'm going to make you think.
Blank check.
Yes!
Oh my God! I don't think I've ever seen this movie.
The nostalgia
fully.
is nostalgia. I definitely saw it. I don't remember it. I have no idea what we're in for. It's probably going to be insane. And everything in the 90s were like kids, money, absurdities. It fits exactly the 90s. It fits the 90s box.
That's probably the same year Richie Rich came out too, let's be honest. That was probably another Disney DreamWorks thing where they're like, someone's making Richie Rich. Let's make a blank check movie. There's a subplot in this movie where this, I don't know how old did they say how old the kid is? He's
11.
Okay, where this 11-year-old boy kisses a fully grown woman.
Ew.
And then he's like, let's date. And she's like, no. But she still kisses him.
I'll tell you though, I'm looking on, what is it on IMDb? Hold on. Because some of these other reviews are rating it really high.
Really?
Let's
check.
Right? Oh no. IMDb gives it 5.3 out of 10.
That sounds
but when you go on like Amazon, it's got like a 4.7 star.
Was it rated by the kid who starred in the movie? Is that
possibly?
Who did
possibly.
That? Wow.
Oh my God.
Okay.
We're gonna go in the way back machine.
We're going to the 90s. Ready. Well, we're in the 90s, but we're going back to the 90s. Oh my God. The kid who stars in this movie, his IMDb photo is him as a 3-year-old. Why?
That's a choice.
Somebody picked that. Oh, Jesus Christmas. Okay. I'm ready, I think.
Okay.
Well, Bridge.
Yeah.
I just want to say.
Yeah.
If you were getting oppressed, if you were an ant and you were getting oppressed by a grasshopper mob gang, and they were like, we're going to kill you, I would be an upstander. But I probably would have tried to be an upstander, like, before we got to that and be like, guys. Yeah. Let's just, like, plan better. Like, we can just...
You be an organizer.
We can trample them. Like, they don't even need to say words. The moment they land on the ground, we sprint full speed, we trample.
Oh, okay. Definitely.
I'd do that for you. So,
wow. You'd organize and start the coup?
Yes. I mean, come on. Of course I would. You know me.
I love
I'm an Aquarius. Yeah.
Good. Well, Kate.
Bridge.
I think if you wanted to start that coup and you needed a planner, you know that I would absolutely make a spreadsheet for you.
Thank God. You could do the PowerPoint presentation like, okay, step 1. We all stand in a line.
I need you guys to look at this word, empowerment. Say it with me. Empowerment. I wear a power suit.
An ant pants power suit.
Well, that was hard to say. Ant pants power suit.
Wow.
But yeah, I would do that for you to help get your coup in motion with the skills I have, which is organization and good storytelling.
Yes, thank you. I love that.
You're welcome.
Well, and listeners, if you also think that we should do something like the ants, all right, who wants to make the PowerPoint presentation? Because enough is enough, okay?
Yeah, I do. Let's do it.
I'm ready to trample someone who deserves it wholeheartedly. And if you think that, like, bug jokes are silly, but, like, I don't need a whole movie about them.
I agree.
Yeah. And if you think that grasshoppers might be crickets.
And they're still scary.
And they're scary. I mean, do you ever get sprickets? Because that's what I have sometimes.
No, what are they?
They're, like, they look like they should be spiders because their legs are, like, long, but they're crickets. And they can't fly, but they climb and jump. And I hate them. They're nightmares.
They sound terrifying.
They're so scary. They would have made the movie PG if they were the movie.
Oh, wow.
Where was I going with that? Oh, they're scary. Some bugs are scary, y'all. If you think all that, you should write us a review. Woo. We love reviews. We love written reviews. You can review us on Apple Podcasts, along with some other podcasting apps. And we also have a website, sisterswhoseenit.com. On our website, you can request a movie. So there's a form you can fill out. Your request goes on the list. And we look at the list every now and then. And we will do it eventually. And Bridge, what else can they do on our website?
Give us money.
Woo!
Which will go to Katie's coup and my pantsuit.
It will.
And merchandise.
Woo!
Okay? So many fun things on there you need to check out.
Yeah.
And, yeah. Let's party. Let's do this, Kate.
I'm ready. Yes. So check all that out, listeners. And we hope to hear from you. All right. Well, we'll see y'all next week for Blank Check. And then 90s music. Like,
tie-dye, shorts, and umbros.
Yeah.
Neon.
Riding a bike. Oh, yeah.
Flat rim, Bryn. I love you, Kate.
I love you.
Goodbye, my bug. I love you, ladybug.
Beautiful little butterfly.
Beautiful little butterfly. Goodbye. I love you.
Thanks for tuning in to Sisters Who've Seen It. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Check out our website at sisterswhoseenit.com, where you can email us, request movies to be reviewed, and keep up to date with all things sisters. Also, make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. See you next week.